Good evening, good evening.
Hey, Tim.
Hello, Brother Tim. Welcome to Jim's in Town Gardening and Bella's Legacy Rabbitry. Well, we'll include Leanna too. Leanna's had a busy day today. And there's Sister Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Good evening. Yeah, Leanna's been spring cleaning. You know, we have the chickens, the baby chickens in the house about 2 weeks longer than I normally do. Normally they go out into the entryway and I have a light on for them, and I didn't have room out there. So anyways, they stayed in here about 2 weeks longer than they should have, and they get starting where they start flapping their wings, and it got dusty, and it's a real fine dust
everywhere in two rooms.
So she's been cleaning that. She got the whole downstairs clean today, and then she had a little mishap. Not sure what happened. We were just going to a marshmallow roast. Keep forgetting you were on here on Tuesday nights. Glad Tim caught you so we didn't miss it. Well, you know what? If you're doing that with the kids, we certainly understand. Glad you were able to join us, though. Tonight, I don't have a special guest. However, what I thought we'd talk about is being prepared. I mean, that's the title of the Tuesday night thing that we do, being prepared. And, you know, we've talked about quite a few things. We had Brother Dave come in, talk about his homestead a little bit. Let's see, who did we have? We had Brother Larry talking about bees. I know there's quite a few people thinking about possibly getting into bees. We know Tony did. Now I guess Tony is part of a bee association. So, you know what? Getting that knowledge. And I think I will roast 2 extras for you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Leanna's on a diet, but I'll take her share.
I'll take my own. Thank you very much.
Let's see. We had Brother Ed, who is in Israel right now. Boy, isn't that nice to be able to do that?
Yeah.
You'll roast him while you're watching this. Great. Yeah. You know, I didn't know how that was going to go with Tony. You know, I know oftentimes it's great to get involved in something, and then, hello, Brother Hodges.
Hey, Hodges.
Good evening. I didn't know how it was going to go, but he has dived right into it, collecting swarms, which, you know what? My hat's off to him. Let's see. We had Brother Ed, where he did the solar panels, and that was quite interesting.
It was.
We had somebody else.
We had Rick.
Yes. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's right. So
last week.
Yep. You know, and he's a neighbor. He is. Oh, thank you. I was surprised somebody didn't say anything this morning. I needed to get it off my ears. I don't like it on my ears.
But he wants mine down to my butt.
Yeah, getting back to Rick. You know, raising the vegetables, and maybe another time I can have him come up again and talk about how he raises his vegetables. Now, I know he's got his own channel. He doesn't do a whole lot with the garden itself. A lot of it is with the tractors. Like I said, I first found him when he was digging out and resetting the barn. And that was, to me, that's fascinating. I like watching people operate tractors. You know, I did so much of it working on the dairy farms, and we're talking big tractors. At least 100 horsepower tractors and bigger. So to be able to watch what some of them are doing with the compact tractors, um, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy watching. Although with him, he was in very very close um, quarters, and of course with the bucket and everything. Uh, so, anyways, as I'm watching, it's like,
Right.
oh, watch out, Rick, watch out. Yeah. Well, there for a while, she was very, what's the word I want? Where she had the cancer spot on her head, and they had shaved quite a bunch off the top, and she was she thought about that a lot. So praise the Lord, that's all healed. It's growing in.
Yeah, I still got a bald spot, but
It's not
my
like it
hair's
was.
grown over it, so
Yep,
not a big deal.
yep. So tonight, during this hour, I thought we'd talk about how we're all being prepared. And there's Brother Rick. Hello,
Hi,
Rick. No, you're
Rick.
fine.
We just got started.
In fact, I was just talking about you. um, Actually, what I had said, Rick, was, you spoke quite a bit about the diet that you and your wife are on, but I thought maybe another time, maybe you could talk about your garden, how you grow your garden. Um, because you and I are always later getting things in the garden, starting things than most of the country. Um, because our cold season, we have such a short season, such a short season.
Yeah.
So today, what I thought, yeah, we talk about some of the things to be prepared, things to have in case of, um, power outage, a long power outage. Most of us where we are, the ones that are around here, we don't see the hurricanes, we don't see the tornadoes like a lot of other people around the country, what they see. However, I have seen places up here in Maine where tornadoes have come through. 50s here, yeah, we're 53. That's about as high as it got today. No, but you know what? That was good.
No, that was
That
good.
was good, Rick, because there are people who deal with um, dietary issues. Leanna's on a dietary plan right now.
Yeah,
Um, and it's worked very, very well for her.
I'm starving to death.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's great. Because
Yeah.
that was very interesting.
Yep. Well, and that's what I'd like to do, each week. I mean, I'll fill in some of the weeks when I don't have different ones because there's a lot of things that I could do or that I do that could help other people. Um, maybe not in the southern states when I talk about the garden method that I do because I know there's different ones have problems with carpenter ants, different ones have problems with all kinds of things when you get into the wood chips. I've heard a lot of the stories. Yep, yep. But really, Fiona wasn't that bad. I can remember one back in the 80s. Property garden, diet, finances, all tied back to those lessons in school. Yeah, and that was so great. Rick, remember? We were talking on the phone the night before, and you started sharing what that teacher had said, and it was like, yeah, and here we are, right in the middle of the things that she said.
Yeah.
So she had done some studying, or she got a word, she got a prophetic word for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Keto. Yep. Yep.
Yep. One meal a day I get. One lonely meal. I just had it a few minutes ago.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're out further,
Yeah.
coming up along the coast. That's right.
Yeah.
So if if let's say you lost power for a week, let's just use that for an example. How well could you get by if you lost power for a week? And let's say you have a well where you need electricity to pump that water out. How many of you would be able, just on the water situation, how many of you would be okay?
We would, wouldn't we?
We would, yeah.
Yes.
But again, that's being prepared. Um, we buy bottled water. Actually, usually there's some of the small bottles that we have, but we also buy the, what is it, 4 gallon jug.
5.
Those are 5 gallon jug. I was thinking they were 4.
Mm.
We would be okay. Very good. Um, we've got 5 of those containers, and usually when 1 or 2 gets empty, we bring it down and we exchange them for new ones. Um, because what they're saying is you should have a gallon per person a day. Now, we lost power for 2 weeks when Katie was a baby. Hurricane 1. Divine. Couch surfed. My parents and Tim's on, and Uncle was for a night as well.
Great. 2 weeks. That's a long
That's a
time.
long time. Yep. We lost it for what, 3 days right in the middle of winter here.
Yeah.
And that was cold.
It was horrible.
Now, I do have a generator. We haven't had to use it for 2 years. I will probably use it some this summer, and that's to do some welding with, but um, because I don't have 220 out in the barn. But we do have a generator. I had always wanted a generator, and there was a job on an island that I had to do. And to do that, I had to have a generator to run my table saw and chop saw and stuff. Um, so a generator is a great thing. But what about batteries? What about a radio just to keep up with um, what's going on? Oh, what do they call those? NOAA radio?
Yeah.
One of those ice storms about 15 years ago, we had no power for 11 days. We managed okay. Yep. Now, let me ask you this, Rick. Were you prepared? I mean, did you have things set in place in case there was an outage or there was an issue? Honey, can I have the coffee, please?
I'm so sorry.
Use a barbecue to cook, thawed food, have lots of canned goods to wipes for bathing, water, batteries, radio, flashlight, candles, etc. And I remember 2 weeks ago, Alicia, I think it was, when you and Katie and Tim had come up and showed some of the things, flashlights and stuff.
That was interesting.
That's good
Thank
stock
you.
to have. Very good stock to have.
She's a ready lady.
Yep.
She's all ready.
Well, and we should be. We all should be.
Yes, we should.
Are
we ready? I think we are.
For the most part, we are. And here's the other thing. When you've got livestock, you got to be prepared for them too. If we were to lose power here during the summer months and we got back into the 90s, I would have to run that generator steady to keep that AC going for them because it just gets too hot in that barn. When we were at 93, if I didn't have the AC and the fans going, I would not be a bit surprised if it would get somewhere around 100, 110 in there. And
that's dangerous for rabbits.
That would be a killer for them. and it's pretty open, I mean, so they get sun all the time. I I took down what shade they have during part of the day, and the only reason I did that, it was a basswood that 10 years ago was not there, and I moved a building which is now my chicken coop, and that grew right beside the chicken coop, and that thing is probably close to 16 inches on the butt in diameter. It just grew so quick. It has the the remnants of stuff that comes drains down through the chicken yard, but also my compost pile is there. I'm sure the roots are over where my garden is, and there's been loads and loads and loads of manure that's gone in that. So I mean, it had so much nutrients that it just grew so big. And one storm, and it wasn't real bad, we lost two limbs. One lay down on the chicken coop, and the other one came right in front of the chicken coop. So it's like that tree's coming down. I just can't take a chance on that.
It's mostly down.
It's mostly down. Yeah.
He's been working, chipping away at it.
Wood stove, very good. And it's great that you've got a wood stove. It's something like a one of those Ben Franklin stoves, Rick. I can remember doing that when we were. Oh, I was in junior. No, I was in high school. We cooked some meals on that Ben Franklin stove. The water from gravity fed well filled by a brook. Yep, very good. Just had to wash up at the sink. We now have a generator too. And that's great. If you've got a stream that goes by your property, especially if it's nice, clean water. Now, one of the things that I do quite often, because I'm turning compost piles all the time and I'm adding leaves to it all the time, and I don't like to put the water from the town into that, is I've got buckets that I'm saving water all the time. A Juddel stove. Okay, very good.
Wow.
Yep, and I so agree with you, Brother Rick, as far as the money situation. Kodiak solar generator with panels. I dream I could get one.
$300. Wow. That seems like a lot. Well, I guess it's a dirty job.
Yeah. There was a buddy and I that we did a few chimneys, Matt.
Yep.
We did a few, cleaned a few. So, what else do you think is important? You know what? In fact, I'm going to drop the link in case somebody wants to come up and
yak with us
and share. Yeah. And it won't even cost you anything.
We like having company.
We like having company.
And you're all invited.
Yes. Jim, come sweep my chimney. I wish you could. Yeah.
That would be awesome to meet them.
Yeah, it would. I wouldn't be able to climb the roof now, but yeah. 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 And that's the thing. In fact, I got in a discussion with somebody just a couple days ago, actually yesterday. The dad of the girl that did my hair yesterday, he was talking about the rabbits, and we got talking about a whole bunch of stuff. And, couldn't believe the prices and where nobody wants to. Yeah, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work anymore. And when they do, they want to charge all outdoors. Well, a truck that I used to have, I sold to a guy across the road, and he's run it for quite a few years, and he hasn't been easy on it. And it's going to go to the graveyard here. So, anyways, we were talking, and he asked how many driveways I had, and I said I was plowing at one point 88 driveways. And he said, "How long did it take you?" And I said, "There were times it would take 24 hours on the bigger storms, 6 to 8, and heavy." Um, so he said, "Well, you must have made pretty good money." And I said, "Well, I didn't charge anywhere near what I should have, because my average driveway at the time was what, $25, $30. I did have some more, but um, uh, the year that I gave it up, I had one guy. In fact, I used to plow for him. Was going to charge $50 for our little driveway, and it was like, wow, this would have been a $25 driveway if I was, pricing it out for someone else. $50. No, it's not very big. 2 passes, and it's, and they could plow right into the garden. But anyways, so let me see. Yeah, if anybody wants to come up, I dropped the link. But what are some of the things that one repair and all the profit is gone? I did plowing back in the 70s. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, one of the problems I had with that truck is I lost the ad avenue transfer case, and a used one for that one was I think the cheapest I found was $1,100 for used one.
It was.
For used one.
That.
$1,100. But the problem that I was having back then is most of the trucks in the 2003 were the push button transmissions. So that was a problem. I found one, and I think that was going to be around $600, but it was the push button, and to go through the computer on the truck and everything else, it wouldn't have worked. So food. What about food? How many of you have food that is set aside that would last?
I think we do. I don't think we'd starve.
We've got plenty of canned food.
Yes.
One of the things that we have talked about doing is canning some meat. I think beans and rice are a bad idea for preps because it would take a lot of fuel to heat the water and the time it would take.
Besides that, beans are gross.
Yes, but some people eat beans, and it is high in protein.
It is.
It's a good source of protein.
Ever liked them.
Well, if it was that or starve.
I'd starve.
You'd eat.
I probably would eat a bug. Oh,
Now, she does like rice.
I love rice. Yes.
But what about non-perishable foods?
Non-perishable. You mean like as in...
Oh, like rice. Like beans.
I have rice. You won't find any beans in there, honey. You don't like them either.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you had it, Alicia. Good thing you had it. Yeah. I want to swallow their beans whole like pills. I can eat in small quantities beans. It's just I had so much when we were growing up. It was a big thing. In fact, when Mom was here the last time, we had talked about that. Every Saturday, it was a thing that everybody did: beans and hot dogs.
Yeah, my mother did too.
And I really got tired of them. Now, there were times on one of the dairy farms I got kidney beans. They were canned.
Kidney
And
beans I can tolerate. Those
yeah,
are okay, especially in chili.
yeah. But it is a good source of protein. Hmm. Interesting, Tim. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm. I bet that was good. Yeah. So that's canned good. And like I said, we do can a
We
lot of
have
vegetables.
so much canned stuff in the basement.
Yeah, and we do dehydrate.
Yeah.
Leanna got into that probably 3 years ago. We started dehydrating for the apples for the bunnies,
Yeah.
and she got so that she started looking at things that she could dehydrate in.
Yeah.
Like onions. There's a certain onion that I raise. Okay, all right, Rick. Very good.
Awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah, I make garlic powder and onion powder and what else?
Celery.
Skate powder.
Yeah,
Celery, yes.
I did the celery. There's things that you could do with potatoes.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that you can dehydrate, and that will last a long time.
Yeah.
Take care of it and do it right.
Yeah.
It'll last a long time. But really, as far as food, there should be a several day. Um,
And even for your pets and like our rabbits and our chickens and our doves.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Typically, I can get through almost a month normally. Now with the chickens, I could probably go a little bit longer because they're getting a lot of stuff out of the garden. Any weeds, all the grass clippings they get. Um, they don't get as much out of the kitchen as they could. We had some grapes that Leanna threw out the other day. They could have had that, and that would have been good for them. Something else that I do
Well,
with
they
them,
were turning into raisins.
that would have been all right for them.
Really?
Yep. Um, another thing for your chickens, when you and quite often I do this when she makes her pickled beets. When she boils the uh, the beets to can or to peel it,
Yeah, and to can.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll save that juice and I mix it about half and half for the chickens. I suppose you could do the string beans or any of it, as long as it didn't have a lot of the salt.
Yeah. Tim's a nut.
I could eat canned carrots all day, twice.
Sundays.
Yep.
Now you're talking about carrots you can or carrots you buy at a store in a can. There's a huge difference.
Mm. Yeah, there is.
I love carrots. I wish you could can broccoli. Maybe you can.
You might. I think I have an idea that it would take a lot of the flavor out of it.
You think so?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Now, would that have to be pressure cooked or? And we could do some just so that we had it too. Find out how. I've never seen it in the store.
What?
Broccoli, canned broccoli.
No.
It's always been pros. Huh.
Yeah. Or fresh.
Yeah. Yep. Now, Tim and Alicia, do you can? Or do you dehydrate at all? I'm pretty sure that Rick does. Hodges, and I think I've asked you before. Do you have a garden? Canned potatoes are great.
Yes, they are.
We do some.
Yeah. Slice them up.
Yeah. Normally it's the smaller potatoes that we will can. And it mostly there's Rick.
Dude, Rick. I had to look this way to see him.
That we will can. Oh, the only thing, Rick, you're gonna have to turn the volume down. Mostly there's Rick.
Rick. I had to look this
There.
way.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, the only thing, Rick, you're gonna have to turn the volume down. Mostly
Turn the volume down.
Yeah.
Okay.
There. Welcome.
Thank you. Let me.
Oh, the only thing, Rick, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the volume on here.
On YouTube, if you can mute it.
Thank you. Let me. Hold on. I'm trying to find the volume on here. Oh, wait. Okay.
On YouTube, if you
Yep.
can mute it.
That should do it.
There it goes. Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Welcome.
Windows open. Didn't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, as soon as I had you come up, I could hear the echo and I knew where it was coming. Okay. I just asked Hodges if he has a garden.
Beans
so he
and
grows
tomatoes.
beans.
Yes, I
And
think I remember
tomatoes.
that.
Yep. Now, do you can any of those, Hodges? No, Rick, you can, I'm sure.
Well, we have everything. We picked up a pressure canner last summer from a neighbor that was
Okay.
selling it, but we didn't use it. Haven't used it yet, but we will be.
Yeah.
So what we've been doing is we're still freezing a lot of the vegetables that we grow.
Mhm.
We got a freezer right over here on the other side of this room that we freeze our vegetables in for the winter. So that gets us through the winter. I don't know if you saw the video that I put out a couple of years ago. The freezer died on me. It was only 2 years old, and the start relay died. We lost our whole winter's worth of vegetables and a month's worth of meats.
Oh man, that
That's
hurts.
I remember you telling that last week, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that hurts. We lost a freezer with a lot of vegetables,
And a lot of
some
meat.
meat. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah.
It was tough enough just to lose a winter's worth of vegetables, but then thinking about all the work we did to get all summer long to get those vegetables, and all for naught.
Yep. Yep.
So have you planted yet?
I've been planting.
Yeah.
In the garden here, I've got onions, spinach, lettuce. Actually, I planted a few potatoes. I found I was preparing a raised bed for where all my peppers are going to go. And I found some potatoes from last year that had started. In fact, we found some more when we put the black fabric on it. Anyways, I planted a row of potatoes. Now, over in the other garden, I've done 2 rows of yellow beans, 2 rows of green beans, a row of the French style beans, zucchini, the yellow crookneck, what are those tans? The Cherokee pumpkin, Cherokee tan pumpkins.
Yeah.
Seems like there was something else. Oh, carrots.
Corn. Well, it's not doing well, right?
I haven't done the corn
You
yet.
haven't done the corn yet.
No.
Okay.
No.
Peas. You
Oh
do
yeah, peas. Planted peas.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of success last year with peas. We planted carrots. They came up, but they didn't do really well. But they're coming up again already this year from last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
We
deal.
planted some stuff. My wife planted, trying to remember, she bought bunch of stuff last week and planted it. Our grandson helped. Cabbage and I think asparagus and maybe broccoli. Can't remember what else. I think broccoli. But we haven't planted everything yet. We just either haven't had time or the weather wasn't cooperating with all the rain we've had. I've been busy with other things. So,
That's right. I do have 12 broccolis, 12 cauliflowers, 12 cabbages.
12 cabbages?
Yeah. She's gonna make sauerkraut
yeah,
this year,
sauerkraut.
so because usually I don't put that much cabbage in, but she wanted to do the sauerkraut this year,
Just
so
a little bit.
so
Or a lot.
I have 3 minutes.
yeah, I think I mentioned last time that I want to give pumpkins another try. They were growing, but we had the flowers, but the pumpkins never grew. So I don't know if they weren't getting pollinated or if we just had too many. I saw bees out there
Right.
running around on the flowers, so they must have been pollinated.
Yeah.
But we might have had too many.
I planted pumpkins over in my neighbor's garden 1 year, and I got some beauties. We got some beauties, and then I had somebody that took a bunch of them too, and I know who had them. I saw them on because Leanna really wanted to decorate with them, have some out in the front yard, and I was waiting for them, and all of a sudden they disappeared, and I saw them in somebody's yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's okay. They don't know them.
No, but the other thing again, chicken feed. When she gets done with them out there and the frost gets them, hard enough that they start to get mush, they go out to the girls and again, it's a good source of food for them.
Yep.
So, no, Alicia, we were talking about. Leanna said,
Canning
"Can you can broccoli?" And I said, "I imagine." Then I got thinking, I don't think I've ever seen broccoli or cauliflower canned in the store.
Cauliflower.
Yeah.
Well, it's pickled. It's pickled, and it's really, really good.
Huh.
Of course, you wouldn't like it because it's pickled.
Yeah. Yeah. But I imagine you could. And I would say it would probably have to be pressure cooked. I would say.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah, Rick, on your pressure cooker, what I would do is I would take the regulator and have it tested.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. We've got to do ours this year too.
We say that every year.
It's been a while.
We never do it.
Yeah. No, it's been quite a while. We've actually got 2. We've got 2 pressure cookers. Same type, the Presto 32 quart.
Yeah. I don't remember. It's the same one we had that we thought we didn't have.
Yeah.
That's another story. So after we bought it, we found the old one. Sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, when you've got string beans coming in, you don't have a long time to keep them. So, no, we kind of rushed that order through, and
Yep.
I raise pole beans mostly, although this year it's all bush beans. Yeah, but when they come in, I mean, it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of beans all at once. And
Yeah, it is.
so if we're doing pints, we can do 20 in this one because I can stack them. And usually we'll do two or three batches of them.
Yeah, we have a lot of beans.
A lot of beans. And I give a lot of beans away.
Yeah,
Yes.
we had a lot of beans last year too.
Yeah.
A huge amount of purple beans. I don't know if you've ever grown purple beans.
Mm-mm.
We are
Um,
this year, right?
I've got a few. Yeah.
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 Are they anything like the green ones or the yellow ones?
You mean taste?
Taste wise. Yeah.
Yeah, they taste just like, I joke and say they taste like grape, but sorry, Jim. Um, but they taste just like any other bean, like green beans. And
Oh.
they grow purple, but when they're, um, they call it blanched or boiled,
Mhm.
I think they turn green.
Is that right? Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that's like the purple potatoes. Um, my mom had given me some seed potato. They were the purples, and I can't remember who it was. Somebody said, "Yeah, but they're gonna turn a different color once you cook them." And no, they don't. They're really pretty. Actually, when you cook them, they get a deeper purple.
Yeah, if you have leftovers and put them in the fridge, they turn this bright, beautiful purple. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I've had those in the past.
yeah. They've got a good flavor.
Yeah.
Typically, our potatoes are going to be the Yukon Golds because that's one of our favorites. We love the Yukon Golds. The Kennebecks.
Yeah.
I do some reds, and then we do the purple.
Hmm.
Oh, and a russet. We do russets. In fact, that's what I found in the garden was the russets. So
Yeah.
planted almost a whole row of that. Mine is a crock pot brand.
You can
Can.
can in those, but you can only do like 2 jars or you know, I don't know. When I can, I like to do a great big bunch of them and get it over with. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of work.
I'm still trying to get my greenhouse finished.
Is that right?
Yeah, I came home early today and wanted to work on that. Got the ladder out, got the tools out, but I needed my wife to help me. We have to take the hoops back down off the posts and then replace. I didn't have the right um, bolts to hold everything together, so I just put it together with some bolts that were too long.
Yeah.
Now I can't get them out. We have to take the
Oh
hoops
no.
back out and loosen them up and replace the bolts and put them back in.
Hmm.
So she's not feeling well. She was in bed. So I went out there to try to finish up the greenhouse and couldn't do anything. So get that done in the next couple of days.
Yeah. You've been getting a lot of rain down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of rain.
Still a lot more to come.
Yeah. And I cut the grass about a week ago, and it needs it badly again. It's getting really tall. And it was tall when I cut it. But it's just so wet. It's either raining or it's wet. I can't cut it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to do it by this weekend. If not, I'll have to hay it.
Yeah. Well, that's what my back lawn looks like.
Yeah.
I mowed the front. It was the day it was 93. I did it in the morning. And I knew that we had to go to Bangor that afternoon. So I got done with the front one. I said, well, I'm going to come in and get something to drink and I'll go back out and do the back one. Well, that didn't happen. Oh, it got me. The heat got me that day. Well, I think I cleaned rabbit trays out that day too. So anyways, I said, wow, I know we've got the thunderstorms coming that night. And then there was a couple days of rain. I said, I'll catch it on the next break. Well, here we are a week later almost.
Yeah.
So I've got grass over a foot tall back there.
Yeah.
Because I put a lot of rabbit droppings there and it grows.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good fertilizer. That'll make the grass grow.
Absolutely. Truthfully, I wouldn't trust canned meat to someone who can at home. That is why I have never tried it. Um, Alicia, I think if you pay attention to what you're doing, and you use a canning process from somebody that you trust, um, I would do it. I would do it. And especially if it was something that I raised, so the meat is good right from the very beginning. It was processed right, handled right, when you were processing it. And that's why I have whoever I have do it. They know how I want it done, and it wants to be clean.
Yep. Yeah, I hope, talking about preparing and talking about meat, we don't can any meat. Uh, when we do start canning, it'll be the vegetables.
Hmm.
But my hope is that buying all the
Well, I think he froze.
Rick's frozen.
I think he froze. Let's see. We don't have animals, but veggies and fruit I would be more okay with. Yeah, and that's a good start, Alicia. That's a good start. Now, another thing um, is we do can the what is it I want to say?
Don't know.
The stock,
I'll
chicken
just-
stock, turkey stock,
Oh,
rabbit
still gotta
stock.
do that.
In fact, we do have to do the beef stock too.
Forgetting about it.
And that needs to be done with a pressure cooker. But for us, instead of buying, what do you have to buy? It's usually like a quart, and most of her recipes that she's doing, it only calls for like a pint. So she'll have that quart jug in the refrigerator, and by the time she needs it again, it's usually gone by. So it's like, we have the animals, we save the bones. A lot of times we'll put them in the freezer and we'll do a bunch all at once. How many cans do we do of the rabbit?
24, 20.
It was 2 batches,
It was a
almost
lot.
2 batches.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So that's another thing that you can do with them. Now you don't have any animals, right? You don't have any chickens or goats or anything. I don't think you do.
Probably not. They're renting.
Yeah. Hopefully Rick will be able to come back on. No, okay, I didn't think so. So, what else do you do as far as being prepared, Alicia and Tim, and Hodges? Well, that's not what I wanted.
Oh no, we wouldn't eat Kitty.
Only my kitty, but we won't eat her. Well, I hope not. Oh, and I know Alicia and Tim have the battery powered radios, and you had the crank one too, right? Who was it that had a crank one? I'm pretty sure they showed us one, but was it Lee or maybe Hal? Had one of those flash.
Hal?
Could have been. There he is.
He's back.
Yeah.
You were talking, and then all of a
The
sudden,
Wi-Fi.
what? You gotta mute
Every once in a
your-
while,
There
our
he
Wi-Fi
is.
cuts up. Yep.
You were talking, and
Okay.
then there. Yeah. No, you
Yeah,
were talking,
okay.
and then all of a sudden you stopped talking, and then you were just sitting there. I said, "Oh, he's frozen."
Stuck up on cutlery and plates.
Yeah, our Wi-Fi cuts out every now and then for some reason.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I forget what I was saying though.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't remember.
I think you're talking about canning. Oh, no,
It
no, no,
might have
no.
been.
Your greenhouse. You're working on the greenhouse and you had to get the bolts out of it. And your wife
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Yeah. She was in bed. So I couldn't do anything on it. So I went on to another project. Unrelated. I got a 2006 Ford Mustang convertible. I'm thinking about selling it, and the radio stopped working. So you have to pull the radio out to see what model it is in order to replace it. So I've worked on it a couple of times, and it just keeps cutting out on me. So I'm just going to replace it.
Yeah.
Then I'll think about selling it.
Wow. What year did you say that
Selling the
was?
car project. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope to
What
have
year?
the greenhouse completed by this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Hodges wants to know what you were saying about your meat, Rick.
Oh, maybe that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think what he means is we buy our meat locally from a local farm. So I'm hoping that if everything does fall apart, that's part of our being prepared, is we can still get our meat locally.
Yeah.
If not, then we'll just start raising something. But I think I mentioned last time I was on, if it doesn't grow out of the ground, we don't want it.
Right. Right.
Too much work. Cost too much money. They bring in too many rodents. I don't want to be fighting rodents on the property. So
Yeah.
if we have to, we'll grow some livestock, but that's not in our plans. So there's enough
Right.
farms around here where we can get meat from them.
And that's good.
It's all organic meat too. Yeah.
Yep. You know, that's like we
We got
put a
a
half
dairy
beef.
farm nearby. What's that?
The guy that I hay with, I bought half a beef from him. So that's good. And that will last us for quite a while. And the good thing was the ones that butchered it, they did it all in the vacuum sealed packages, which is about the only way that we freeze now. That's even our vegetables are all vacuum sealed.
Yeah. No more freezer.
No, no.
Yeah, that's how we freeze our vegetables. It's all vacuum sealed for now.
Yep.
And then the meats that we do buy, they're all vacuum sealed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the
But we
butchers,
buy, right? What's that?
a lot of the butchers now, that's what they're doing is vacuum sealing it, which is good.
Yeah.
Tim brought up a good one. Never hurts to buy another item of clothing and socks every second month or so.
See, he's giving me permission to
Yeah.
go buy a new outfit. Woo-hoo. Thursday, I've got to go shopping.
I've got to do that too. I dropped 50 pounds, so I need a lot of new clothes.
Yeah.
Wow, 50 pounds.
I dropped 100.
I'm wearing the same 2 or 3 shirts to work.
Yep. You know, as far as socks,
I think I have.
Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think I have a little bit of a lagging going on at my end.
Yeah, I
So
think
if I
so.
talk over you, I apologize.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And I usually catch that. We have a Martin's, which is surplus. What's the other word I want to use?
That's what they
Salvage.
Salvage.
And quite often I'll go and I'll buy a couple packs of their socks. Because I mean, I can get them cheap. They're like $2 for $2 to $5 for a set of 3. So I'll pick a bunch up because with this artificial leg, I go through a lot of socks.
He does.
So I kind of prepare that way.
Yes, you've got more socks than.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, they get thrown away though. Yeah.
Those socks tend to disappear too. I don't know where they go, but they disappear.
That
At least
washing
here.
machine always eats them.
Yeah. The washer or the dryer, one or the other.
Yeah, one of them.
You know, when we first got married, she excuse me. She did the laundry and she couldn't figure out why she'd have oddball socks. You know, she'd have three socks or 5 socks. And it was like, well, on the artificial one, I don't always change it.
And I thought that was really gross.
It doesn't sweat.
I know, you explained that to me and then I understood, but he's right.
So that's why when I go to Martin's, I'll buy like 2 packages of 3 so that, you know, I have them because I want it all the same. I don't want to have a mismatch on them because I don't always change it. You know, as long as it doesn't get wet and I haven't been. Anyways, so that's why I usually buy the socks that way. Yep, I get you. I get you, Alicia. I understand that completely.
Wow.
Yep. So you have started planting some, Rick.
Yeah. My wife planted some stuff this past weekend, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few things. I haven't even been in the garden to set it up yet.
Right.
I'm trying to get the green. Well, I was trying to get the greenhouse set up for this year. It's really too late now. We could always use it, but I was trying to get the greenhouse set up, and I've got some other projects going on. I was trying to get those done, so I haven't even had time to start on the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is, June 6th. I'm going to have to do something soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the weather's been crazy. You know, and to think that we went from 93 degrees and now we can't even get 55.
Yeah.
Crazy. And all the rain. But, you know, I'll take the rain for right now because I know what the last few years have been. You know, in a back to Eden style garden with wood chips covering my whole garden, and you go and dig potatoes and you get down 3-4 inches and it's just powder. That says something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't care for the 90 degrees, Alicia. I mean, I know it's good for the growing. I'm comfortable, and I can keep the bunny barn cool enough in 80 degrees. You get much over that, and it's hard. It's hard.
I like the heat.
Yeah, Leanna loves 80, 90.
Yeah, I can take my.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much. We have long, cold winters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the thing is, there isn't a whole lot we can do about it. I mean, we can
Yeah.
wish and complain all we want. There's not a whole
Yeah.
lot we can do about it. Move to a
Yeah.
different climate. Mm.
Yeah, we don't have it too bad here when you look at other parts of the world and other parts of the country where they have tornadoes and bad hurricanes and fires and mudslides. So we have to put
Earthquake.
up with some cold and some snow and an occasional, more or less mild hurricane that's already falling apart. That's about it.
Mm.
Oh, are you getting the smoke from the fires up north?
We haven't yet.
Yeah.
No, we haven't yet. I know quite a few places are. I saw a news clip today. New York, I guess, is getting it pretty bad. Um,
Yeah.
Now, Alicia, how far away is Quebec from you? Because I guess they've got a major wildfire there now.
Yeah, and that's the smoke that we were getting today. It was really hazy.
Is that right?
Huh.
Yep. No,
Yep.
we haven't noticed it here. There's been years that we've gotten it really bad. Really bad. But not this year. No, so far.
Yeah, I didn't even
Well,
know that they were having major fires there.
yeah. Well, last week, in fact, we were on here. You were with us.
10
It
hours.
was, okay, 10
By
hours
car.
away by car. Um, that fire was only about 12 miles from where they live. So,
Yeah.
and then it turned the other way. I think the next morning, or maybe it was later on, it was about 25 miles away. So it must have changed directions. So now they've got the rain,
Yeah.
but they're having problems of flooding and washout.
It's like, yeah.
Well, that's happened in California so many times. They have the major wildfires there, and then they get the heavy rains, and all the hills and all the houses are washing down.
Yeah.
Happens so much. Yep. Well, I suppose I'm gonna.
There's a
If
nearby
anybody
mountain
wants to
here.
go over, and watch Brother Johnny as he's doing his Revelation Bible study, go ahead. I certainly understand. I am going to leave the room open in case somebody wants to ask some questions or talk about what maybe they need to do to prep in case something disastrous happens. I think it's something that we have to keep in our minds, back of our minds all the time, because, I mean, for those who follow Christ, we know that He takes care of us. However,
We can't be stupid.
we can't be stupid. That's right.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Well, seriously, I mean, so.
I'll forget something. I always do.
Yeah. She ran into a little problem today.
Oh, Lordy. That was a big problem. It was major.
She wanted to change get the number off the filter, the water filter on the refrigerator.
I need a new one.
So she took it out and
Looked up the number.
she looked up the number and put it in.
I put that.
And
I put it right the way I took it out.
so I had gone out. I couldn't mow, so I weed whacked on some of the places, and then I went over to my neighbor's. He's got to put a new wheel bearing on the car, and that was scheduled for Thursday. Well, she's got a doctor's appointment Thursday, so he changed the date on that. So she texts me and she says, "Are you busy?" Well, she had a flood. I don't know why, but when she put that in, the water filled up the one of the trays, and it started coming down onto the floor. So I don't know. I guess once you take that filter out, you can't put it back in. You got to put a new one in, I guess, because I've tried it 3 times, and you put it in, and it
squirts.
Yeah, it oozes out. So we'll pick up a new one Thursday.
Yep, I ordered one from Lowe's.
Just won't put.
Actually, I ordered 2.
Just won't put this one in until. Oh, we won't put it back in.
Right, I threw it in the garbage.
The O-rings look good on it. There's 3 O-rings on it. There's 2 around one part and another around the part that actually goes in. That looks good. So I don't know.
I wonder if it just wasn't seated properly.
I don't know. I tried it 3 times, and neither time would it go. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if we had drained it and put it in, I don't know. We'll try the new one. Try the new one. See what happens.
Yeah, I have a dehumidifier with 2 jugs that you put on the back, and I think each one's probably about 2 gallons.
Yep.
And I filled them up one night. Drained out onto the floor.
Oh my.
Yeah. Fun cleaning up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Alicia, I'd have to talk to Tony on that. I had considered doing the Bible. We had talked about maybe doing the Bible reading because I know there's ones that like to come in on Monday and Tuesday, but I'm on just about every single night, and we need a break too.
Yeah.
We need a break too.
Yeah.
Early mornings, and when you close out at 9 and
or 10.
Yeah, sometimes 10. Quite often when we get done, like if Tony's on, once we close the room, quite often we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah.
So it can go 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock sometimes. And then there's times he'll text me. In fact, he texted me about midnight, the night before last, I think it was. But, yeah.
That's way past my bedtime these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard, when you're up anywhere from, Leanna at one point was getting up 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
I'm usually up somewhere around 5:30. In fact, the last couple nights, mornings, I've had all I could do to get out of bed at 6. Just tired. Late nights.
Yeah.
When I have to prepare the sermon messages, a lot of times it's 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So, but
It makes me tired.
So how big is your garden, Rick? And I think we had talked about that yesterday, last week.
I'm sorry, what's that?
How big is your garden?
How big is our garden? Do you remember?
What?
Do you remember how big our garden is?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
It's probably 40 feet by 40 feet, at least, maybe a little larger than that.
That's a good sized garden.
Yeah, that's just the main garden. We doubled the size last year. But then we had other things growing outside the main garden. We had our pumpkins growing in one area, watermelon in another area. We had some squash growing in another area. So all the stuff that vines and grows out, we had away from the main garden.
Right.
We had something way over on the other side of the property. I forget what we were growing over there. So there's
Then you've got
stuff all over the place.
Then you got fruit trees.
Yeah. Peach tree, 3 apple trees, grapes, cherry tree, 20 blueberry bushes, some blackberries, raspberries.
Mm.
I can't remember what else.
Yeah. I just trimmed my peach tree today. I trimmed it back pretty good.
It needed it.
I've got to we have 2 small apple trees and 1 small peach tree that we planted a few years ago. But I've got to put something around them to protect them from the deer.
From the deer, yeah.
We had 2 apple trees. We had 2 apple trees. One is a Granny Smith and the other was a McIntosh. And we lost the McIntosh a few years back from heavy snow.
Yeah.
So, heavy snow just brought it down. So I dug out the stump and then put another tree in its place. So actually I forget what they are. I couldn't get McIntosh, and that's my favorite apple. So I got Jonas Mac and Delicious. So our daughter likes Delicious. Yep. So now we'll have, once they mature, we'll have the Jonas Mac, the Granny Smith, and the Delicious.
Yeah.
And then the peach tree.
Yep.
Good night, Alicia.
All right.
Good night, Sister Alicia.
Good night, Alicia.
Now, what kind of peach tree is it that you have? I think I asked you that the other day.
Yeah, and I don't remember. My wife bought it. I planted it. I think it's got a tag on it, but I don't remember. Not sure if there is a tag, and if there is, I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
But we got that about 3 years ago.
It wouldn't be Reliant.
It had a few small.
Whoop. I think he froze again. There you go. You're back.
Yeah. It's this Wi-Fi. So what were you saying?
What kind of peach tree was it?
Oh, you said it had.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure what type it is. It had some small peaches last year, and then I don't know if it was the drought or the heat, but they shriveled up.
Yeah. Well, this one did the same thing.
Yeah, 2 years.
Those were just little tiny guys.
Oh, but so good. Oh my gosh, I ate one. It was tiny, but I ate it, and was that so good.
No, I can't remember if this is the Reliant or if this is the Red Haven.
I think it's Reliant.
I do too. Yep. Well, I had 2. And my neighbor, winter before last, had backed over it, and it didn't come back. That had only been in the ground a couple of years, but it was doing well. That's the one you got the peaches out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't come back last year. So I'll probably pull that one out and put another one in.
Yeah.
Apples, we've got 2. We've got a yellow transparent, and the other one is a Delicious. So,
yeah.
Now, what do you do for bugs on yours? Do you have problems with the worms?
No. And for years, I had no problems at all. And then all of a sudden, it was about 3 years ago, we had, I can't think of what they're called. There's those yellow caterpillars or yellow, I think they were caterpillars of some kind. I forget what they're called. And we had those all over the apple tree and all over our blueberry bushes.
Huh.
So every day I'd go out and grab as many as I could and then put them into a pot of water and drown them.
Yeah.
And then I take the pot of water or bucket of water and take that over to the brook and pour it right into the brook so they get washed away and drown.
Feed the fish.
So I had those for 1 or 2 years and then they went away.
Yeah. Huh. Wow. Wow. Well, I know they make, I forgot, cobbler moths, I think is what they call them. I know there's traps that you can get. And I think there's a scent in there and it attracts the males. So, of course, females don't get bred. But anyways, I had a lady that bought one of the rabbits. In fact, she's interested in 2 more. She was saying if you go and put hardwood chips around them, that will keep those moths from coming. So you know what? It's worth a try. I wanted to do it anyways. Put that black, whatever you call it, the
Mulch.
border
that
stuff,
thing,
and then put
The
the
mulch?
hardwood chips around it. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do that just to easier for mowing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I might try that. I've got a chipper, so I could try that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do
I've
much?
got
Do you have a lot of stuff that you have to prune?
Yeah. Between the apple trees, the peach tree, the blueberry bushes, the cherry tree, there's quite a bit to prune.
Yeah.
Can't think of what else there is. That's the majority of what has to be pruned.
Yeah.
The apple tree needs one more real good pruning. The mature tree, the Granny Smith, hadn't been pruned in many years.
Yeah.
So the last couple of years, I've been pruning it back. It's grown up way too high, way too wide, way far too many branches.
Yeah.
So I've been cutting a little bit back each year. I don't want to do it all in 1 year. So this year is going to be the last year. I still haven't gotten out there, but I've got to get out there and do one more final large pruning. I've got one branch that's broken and hanging down, so I got to cut that off and then cut a couple of other smaller branches off that are dead or just in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll be back to about where it should be.
Yep. I've got one that's still too tall.
Yeah.
That's really tall.
Yeah, I took a lot off it this year, but there was still a lot of the ones growing straight up that I didn't get to.
Yep.
Because I usually do mine February, March, and I still had a snowbank out there, and I didn't trust getting up on that step ladder another step. Just didn't dare. That and it was icy. It was icy when I did that.
Yeah.
Next was another year.
Yeah, I don't like going up on ladders.
No.
I don't mind a couple of rungs, but I don't like to go up high. I don't
No.
get on roofs. I don't go up high on ladders. I don't bounce like I used to.
No.
No.
It's not the fall. It's that sudden stop that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If fortunately these branches that I have to cut are about as high as I'll go.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's probably a little higher than I really would like to go, but I think I can get up there and do it. But I wouldn't want to do it on an icy
Right.
ground, frozen ground, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could have backed the truck up, I guess, against it and put the step ladder on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could have said, Leanna, would you come hold the ladder for me?
Yeah, it wasn't that part of it. It was just up there because there's nothing to see with the old leg. At that time, the foot on it was shot. So if I'm on the toe part of that foot on the rung, and it wouldn't hold my weight. With the new leg, that's the one that's computerized. So I can lock it, but it only holds for so long and so much pressure. And if that starts to go, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I get a little bit nervous on ladders with it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I gotta be careful.
We did.
You know,
Well,
next year I'll do a little bit more pruning, some small pruning on it, get rid of some of the suckers that are growing and, you know, the small branches. Then it should look pretty good after that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with the peach tree, I've got kind of that champagne type glass.
Yep.
The umbrella upside down.
Yeah, umbrella upside down. So
Yeah.
that's been in the ground 2 years, I think. Maybe three. 3 years. And I planted it. And then we built the addition to the bunny barn. So I had to move it. I had to dig it up and move it, which hadn't been in that long. And then the following year, we had the deck part on the entryway, and it's like, man, that's going to be too close to that roof. So I ended up digging it up again. But you know what? It's doing fantastic.
It is.
It's really doing fantastic.
It is.
I'm very happy with it.
That's
and
good.
it's a zone 5. It's rated for zone 5, and we're actually 4Bs, so it's done exceptional.
Well, that's close enough.
Yeah. Yep. So I hope we get peaches off it this year.
That would be lovely.
I'm anxious for them.
Yeah, so am I for ours.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love peaches. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
You know, we went to my grandmother's, and you probably know where it is.
I forgot where it is.
It was their 90th birthday. I'm going to say it was somewhere around Hanover or that area.
It took us, I don't know, some orchard.
Yeah, it was an orchard. Peaches, they had plums, they had apricots. They had everything there.
Is it Poverty? What do they call it? Poverty Acres, something like that.
You know,
Owned by somebody last name of Wood.
that sounds so familiar.
Poverty Lane Orchards.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
A beautiful place. It's just,
yeah.
They let us eat all the fruit we wanted to.
Yeah.
And I ate a lot of peaches.
Yeah,
They
you
were
did.
so delicious.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but then I bought a whole case for my mom, who was babysitting our dog, so that we could go.
Uh-huh.
Well, my grandmother was from Charlestown, New Hampshire. So it wouldn't have been too far from there. I would
Yeah.
say somewhere within a half hour away.
I don't know.
So,
That was
Poverty Lane Orchards is in Lebanon, not too far from the highway. You get off I-89 and go down the main road, take wherever way you're coming from, take a right or a left onto Poverty Lane, go up a hill past a police station, and then just down the road a little bit is this huge orchard. He's
Okay.
got he must have thousands of apple trees.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that
It
might
might
have
have been there.
it. Might have been it. Yeah. The they had meeting. It was a meeting place, where you could hold parties or whatever.
Yep.
It was nice.
Mm-hmm. It was really nice.
Yeah, they did a meal.
Yep.
No, it was nice, very nice.
It might have been his place. It's been probably 10 or 15 years since I've been there. But I think he does have some kind of hall, some kind of meeting place on
Mhm.
his property. Um, I know he had built a new, I forget what it's called, a new processing building for the apples. He had an old barn, it's an old colonial style farmhouse, and the old barn next to it. And then he built a new building for the apples
Mhm.
to process them. I think he might have another building too for some kind of hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were several
Yeah.
little places.
It might have been the same one.
Yeah,
Anyways, it was nice. So if that was the one, it was very nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
very well kept. And the trees were nice. Trees are beautiful.
They were.
yeah.
Really did a good job there. So, well, Rick, I think I'm going to call it quits tonight, and
Sure.
I got a sermon message to do for tomorrow night.
Okay.
You do.
So I want to thank you again for coming
Yeah,
up.
thank you for keeping us company.
Yeah. No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Alrighty. At
Right.
any time, if you want to come up, if you got something you think, would help somebody, just say, hey, Jim, shoot me a link.
Yeah.
And I'll do that.
Okay.
So very good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Take
Night.
care.
God bless you.
Good night, Hodges.
Good night, Brother
Good
Hodges.
to have you here too.
Yeah, I watched his baseball poster and card. That was pretty interesting, I think.
Oh,
Yesterday.
really?
Yep. Yep. That was good. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I don't know what's showing 2 on. Want to thank everybody. I know I went over what I usually do.
But Jim loves to talk.
Well, and I like to listen to different ones when they're sharing things that are going. Good night, Brother Hodges.
Night.
Love you all. God bless you.
See you next time.
Honey, I know this isn't really gardening,
It's
but
right there.